Hey guys, it's Rachel, and I'm back with you guys another video. I messed up, but okay. So I'm back with another video, and so today I'm going to be reviewing and critiquing Gifted Hands. I do have a broken hand, so that's fun. And so let's get right into it. So I'm going to give it 5 stars, or as we say on my channel, 5 R's. Because, yeah, I'm that kind of person. And so it's about young Ben Carson. So he was born in a very poverty-stricken town, I guess you could say, and he just didn't have much of a chance. He definitely grew up in a broken home. His father moved out when he was 8, and he was just living in a lot of poverty, and so his grades suffered. He had lots of temper problems, but yeah, his mother is even said to be his most profound inspiration, I guess you could say. And so she helped him grow his imagination by making him read every day, his intelligence, and so she really fostered a deep belief in himself that she really just encouraged him. And so this book I think would be for, we had to read it for school, but I finished it the first night. Well, actually, yeah, before we even started reading it at school, I read it in like October. And so I like a lot of medical things because I like just sciencey stuff like that. So it's just super encouraging because he literally came from nothing, and yeah, it shows that you don't have to like be wealthy to succeed, and you can be what you want to be. And as a person of faith, it was really inspiring to see how he used biblical truths and even applied that to a neuroscience career, I guess. So Ben Carson, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about him. He became a world-class pediatric neurosurgeon, and at the very most, quotation marks, prestigious, my fingers are broken, Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. And so, again, growing up in a poverty-stricken, was it Detroit neighborhood? Yeah. With his mother and his older brother, Curtis, he could have never even dreamed of a future that truly laid ahead of him. So when, he was 8 or 9, his father abandoned his family and his heart was broken. And, he, at that young age, he just really couldn't grasp the full reasoning of why his dad left him, but his father was actually cheating on his mother. So it's a very deep situation. So Ben's mother, Sonya, she's such an inspiring and strong woman. She's the driving force in her 2 sons' lives. She was born in Tennessee, and she had 20-something siblings. So yeah, she grew up in having a very hard life. And so she got married around age 13, and so despite her only 3rd grade education, 2nd or 3rd grade, she just was determined to escape the ghetto neighborhoods and just live a successful life. And you could really see how she encouraged her kids to do that. So though she was working 3 jobs at a time, she was the task queen there. So she was really hard on her boys, and you could really tell that other parents didn't think much of her for that, why are you being so hard on your boys? But really it paid off. Her oldest son, Curtis, ended up being an engineer, which is great. So they had certain restrictions, they were only allowed to watch 2 episodes of TV a week. They had to read 2 books each week and writing reports, which I do that a lot. And so the boys weren't thrilled about it, but they still, love and respect their mother, and they do comply with her rules. When they, in the movie, my favorite scene is when they go to the library for the first time, and they're like, whoa, what is this? So yeah, that's really cool. And so there were definitely many temptations and challenges for Ben and Curtis that, could have led them, I hate this, down the wrong path. But, so Ben had many times where he kind of felt under peer pressure. I guess it was when he was in 10th grade. He, was the top of his class, and he got involved with some of the ghetto kids, I guess, quotation marks. And so he started playing basketball after school, and just he wasn't reading as much as he should or keeping up with schoolwork, so he went to the bottom again. But he was able to rise back to the top. So he goes through this like phase where he starts to like demand the cool clothes and to fit in with other kids, and he just got like an attitude. I don't know. And so Sonya, his mother, just still remained encouraging, and she used up all her money to go get the cool pants that Ben wanted. Oh, that part makes me mad. It's like, these aren't the cool ones, I'm not gonna wear them. Okay, grow up. So yeah. But she never gave up on them, and so Sonya really played an instrumental role into Ben's like strong Christian foundation. So many times when Ben was like up against the impossible, he prayed and always found his way through them. Like there was one time, this is the climactic point in the story, where he almost stabbed someone like on their belt buckle, and so that was absolutely insane. And so he ended up just going into the bathroom and just surrendering to God, saying, God, you're gonna have to get me out of this. So Ben, then when he kind of gets through that phase, which kind of everyone goes through, just trying to find themselves, so he begins to just believe in himself and starts to work hard at becoming one of the best kids in his class. And that was in his, I guess, junior and senior year, because 10th grade is when he went through his like bad phase or whatever. So he faced many things, such as racial prejudice and some ridicule from some other classmates, and even some teachers. There was one time he couldn't get an academic award or something just because of his race, which is terribly wrong, but that was the harsh reality that Ben had to face in order to, and I think a lot of the struggles that he faced really shaped him and molded him into the person that he truly became, and was able to, be an inspiration to so many teenagers like me that are reading this book and, maybe facing some hard trials, but, God's going to pull you through. So, very, very inspiring on that part. So, very early on, he knew that he was going to be a doctor. I think at first he wanted to be like a missionary doctor because of at church he heard just a really profound, I guess, sermon. I don't know. And so let's see. What else? Oh, we're not even in the college yet. I'm thinking, what should I say next? Okay. So, so he made some outstanding academic achievements, and he had really high, I guess, ACT score. And so Ben was sought out by some of the best schools in the country, like Yale, Harvard, Princeton. We're just all trying to get to him, He even got a full scholarship. He participated in ROTC through his high school, or I guess high school or middle school careers. And yeah, so he got a full scholarship, I guess, to the Naval Academy. I don't know. So he works towards his goal so hard, and he took a very, very high graduating whatever number in his class. And so while at Yale, so then he went to Yale, this is the college that he picked, and he got like a really good scholarship. I'll have to look it up, whatever it was. It was like a 90% or something like that. So he met his soon-to-be wife, Candy. She was a musician. She played with the Batch Orchestra. Yeah, so they do become a husband and wife, yeah. And so Ben continues on going to his medical school, and he selected Michigan State for medical school, I think. Okay, so yeah. During his time in medical school, he became an outstanding student. He's the one that always knows the answers. We all know that kid. Yeah, me. And the interns and residents, they kind of started to like rely on him, and they always just kind of, at first they were really prejudiced against him and were just like, nope, he's not an intern here. Well, actually I am, honey, is what he said. And so the interns and residents kind of eventually, they kind of realized that, oh, he's smart, and they have to rely on him to carry out their duties. So, and then reverting, I guess, back to his first wannabe, back in his Spice Girls reference, he wanted to be a missionary doctor. And So, but like he started to become interested in psychology and neurosurgery, and so he was accepted into Johns Hopkins, I think, and yeah, for medical school, right? Okay, and then so he ended up becoming the chief of pediatric neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins, and so he led so many surgical teams. He made so many just stellar operations, and including what he's most famous for is separating the Bender twins, two cute little boys. Well, I don't really know what they look like. I've seen the movie. And so many controversial surgeries, one that even took like 20-something hours. Like, I can't even imagine staying awake for that long. Like, if I get less than 3 hours of sleep, honey, I'm gone. And, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. But, yeah, they were conjoined twins, and they were, like, conjoined at the top of their skulls, which was very uncommon. And, you know, most of them, one of them would die, both of them would die, you know. So it was definitely a toss-up. So he was the first for them both to survive. So overall, the book was absolutely amazing. And, you know, the movie really tugged at my heartstrings. I wish. And, yeah, it was just overall, it had a huge impact on my life. Just, you know, knowing that through God, and if I believe in myself, and if I really push hard, you know, I can accomplish my dreams. So it can be applied to your life, you know, other people's lives. It's really inspiring. I think, you know, every kid should read this, because it's great. The movie, however, we all know books are always better than the movies. If you know me, you know. And yeah, the movie definitely, it wasn't as inspiring to me as I feel like the book was. I don't know, like, I'm a speed reader. Like, I read this within 2 hours. Probably even less than that, I don't know. But, like, I can speed read, and the movie just seemed to, like, focus on parts that weren't too important and didn't really think much about his mother. And one thing I do want to mention is, like, the impact. I am terrible at speaking. His classical music played a huge, very instrumental, superb role in his life, I guess. He developed a love for classical music, again, because of his mother. And when he was being interviewed for, like, a residency at Johns Hopkins, he actually was able to relate to his, I guess, interviewer. We all know I use my quotation marks a lot, even though I can't move his hand. Was, you know, obsessed with classical music, so he used that to relate to his audience. And I think that's a really key detail that we can hone in on, to, like, find something that you're knowledgeable about and able to relate and make connections to your audience when you're speaking to them. I think there's something so special about having something in common. And so he uses that, and he actually was accepted for the residency. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Thumbs up. Hey. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Overall, we know it's 5 R's, 5 stars, 5 R's, because me. And yeah, hopefully my hand gets better. But bye.